Testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. All we need is Jason.
He's probably finishing breakfast.
Jay, are you there? Hello, hello. Anybody there?
I'll send him a text. Hang on.
Yeah, we're waiting for Jason.
There's like 4 of us in here.
Okay.
Eric, you on?
I sure am.
Okay. I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently Jason's not here.
Someone's got to wake him up. I can handle the meeting, and I've never done it before.
It's always the first for everything, right?
Oh yeah. Rule number 1 is you got to show up. Let me see what's going on with him. Hold on 1 second.
So are you guys running his leads right now?
I'm sorry?
Are you guys running his leads? Have you been in his program for a while?
I have not. I'm working with Jay. This is Lauren speaking. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hey Lauren, John Medwin.
Hey John. So yeah, I've not run any of his leads. I know Jason does a good job with training. When he shows up, so he should be on the line here. He's probably having technical difficulty.
All right, well good. Let me ask you while we got you. Why do you like North American for the IUL?
North American is the best performing IUL that's out there as far as performance. We have all kinds of beta tests and data that I can get you as far as a look back and as far as policy features and deal breakers with every carrier.
Okay, yeah, I'd like that.
There's no other carrier that comes even close. Allianz, Minnesota Life claim that they do. They do not, and I can give you exact data. We just spoke to the president yesterday of Symetra, and I negotiated the highest contract in the U.S., so we will be able to offer that. Symetra basically took, like Americo has just tried and a few others, not Mutual of Omaha, unfortunately. They took basically all the ingredients that they could from North American, from Allianz, from Minnesota, from Americo, and they believe they built the best IUL right now in the nation. And so far, I think they are correct from what my experts are telling me. My guys do 10 to 20 million in IUL soft per year. Allianz's biggest group only does 10 million.
Wow. Is there some kind of recording where we can get up to speed with this product?
Yep. I can get you that information. I should have my contracting data, John. I basically pushed back against the president and said, look, I need at least another 5 points. I'm not trying to be greedy. The problem is that everybody and their mother wants to be a rate whore in this industry. And what happens is people say, I get 115, I get 110, I get 120, I get 130. So in order to cure part of that, I need to at least be where I'm at with North American and Allianz. My contracts are higher than pretty much 99.9% of everybody in the nation. And I've been given that luxury for many reasons. And I'm not going to take that for granted. I'm going to recruit and train and manage agents to those contracts and get that production up. Because there's certainly people that are doing a better job than I am, and they have those contract levels. My group that I'm with, John, has done about 450 million of insurance sales,
Wow.
which is a big number.
Yeah, I was on that call with you the other night with Jason. So, yeah, it's pretty impressive. But I know somebody's kind of a partner. We partnered together in some things, and this guy's a beast. He's been walking away from cases under 1,000 a month, which is like, oh my God, James, are you crazy? So I'd like to switch him over, but I don't know what to. He's a Minnesota Life fan, so
I could prove information that will get him to change his mind based upon factual information, not emotion.
That's what I need. That'd be great.
I have real data that can educate all of you guys on the program.
Perfect.
So there's some heavy producers that know more than me on some of the intricacies of the IUL from the loan perspective. And I think that's where the differences start to really show. But you also have the cost of insurance, and you also have, when these products are built, the actuary has got numbers in there that they need to meet. So they know price per unit, what they want to make on these IULs. Which one, John, which one are you currently selling?
Minnesota Life.
Uh-huh. And if you don't mind me asking, what's your comp level with them?
I'm at street comp with these guys.
Okay. I could change that.
Okay.
My comp with them is over 150.
Well, as I say, I need something to be able to bring this other guy in, because the guy's been a millionaire. He sold his business, and he's got all kinds of marketing. He goes up and down the coast for big cases. So love to bring him in. Well,
if once I hear his name and I see his production, my team is going to know exactly who he is. Are you selling the, I think it's the Orion?
No, the Nexus product.
Oh, you're selling the Nexus one. Okay. That's a pile of, excuse my French, that's a pile of shit product.
Serious. Their material says they've been making 99%, 95%.
They're full of shit. And I'll prove that to you too. Excuse my French. Okay. I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I'll say it to the president of Nexus. I have no problem going back and forth with them. I have on many issues. Their annuities do not stack up like they claim they do. We have data upon data that we're bringing to the S&P 500 and to NASDAQ and to the annuity world, where the guys I'm working with, John, are the people who developed the income rider. I'm very close to a lot of people at Nexus, and I'm very close to a lot of people at Legacy. Their rates are not what they claim their rates are. And I guarantee you I'm going to put a huge dent in their production. Because I'm going to educate the agent about what's really happening.
Well, that's what we need.
When you do a look back, John, believe it or not, and I was shocked at the number, when you do a look back of the best performing IUL on a look back for the past 10 years, month in and month out, believe it or not, it was North American again at about 6.4%. Athene came in second at about 5.77 performance on the annuity. The reason I believe that the Athene product is better is Athene has to put up less money in reserves than North American, which I was told could be more favorable to the consumer. They could pass more money on. For compliance reasons, they don't have to put up as much money.
After the new federal ruling last year, how can those earnings be so much less than what they're illustrating? I mean, they're all
because you can't.
7%.
Let me teach you something. You can't spell illustration without spelling illusion.
All right. I thought that was what that whole ruling was supposed to have prevented. Was they had
You're
to have?
talking about the 49 ruling?
Yeah, yeah.
I learned so much about that. I forget what it is, the AK-49 or RK-49. I learned so much about that ruling that I forgot about it. You're talking about what they can show for arbitrage between the loan rate and the interest rate, and as well as what they can show performance-wise as far as
Right.
being like a 7.2%.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So the reality is some performance of those annuities or IULs have done better than that rate.
Well, I know.
So there is returns, but when you look at the real return, I'll bet you, let's say it's 6.5%. After you back out fees and everything, or 6%, that's still a phenomenal rate of return.
Oh, absolutely.
And that will still beat in almost all circumstances what the S&P 500 over the past 15 years did what?
Oh, the real rate of return was 3.39. It was the average was 4.97, I think.
And where did you see that?
That's from software that I use.
Mm-hmm. And who makes the software? Let me tell you something about software. 99.9% of all financial software is inaccurate. Just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you hear about this Social Security software and all that stuff, that's all bullshit. I work with one of the smartest men in the world who's a CFA. He's basically torn apart all of their data. He's an expert in computers and was Bill Gates' partner. So he's as smart as in math as he is in computers, which is on the genius level. And he passed the CFA exam in about a week.
Oh, jeez.
The report that you may be referring to is there's called the Delbar report, DALBAR. The Delbar report shows the weighted methodology in quantitative analysis of returns, and you could pull that up on Google. So it's DALBAR 2016 PDF, and you're going to see the returns of equity mutual funds compared to the S&P 500. So if that's the software you're referring to,
No, this is just some software comparing the S&P 500 rates over the last 17 years compared to a 12.5% cap.
well, if it's at a 12.5% cap, your IUL is going to suck.
Well, it's still a lot better than the S&P, which hasn't been that good.
Yeah, but it kills the. I'm not as intelligent enough as my experts are that will give you all the reasons why. But if that cap stays at that level, that IUL's got a major problem in the future years.
Well, what's the cap on the North American product?
It's probably 12.5% right now, 13.
Okay.
But historically, we have data. I'm having a webinar with them next week, but historically, theirs is held around 13.
Okay.
What the hope is, John, is that the index cap is going to go to 14, 15, and 16.
Wow.
Because that's where we need it to go. Interest rates are down right now. If interest rates move in the other direction, then that cap should be going higher.
Right.
So we're basing it that will eventually change.
That'd be awesome.
So that's where that back testing data comes from as well, is hopes that over that 20 or 30 year period, that index is going to be 13% or higher. Because I'm told by the experts when it hovers at 12 to 12.5, it creates major problems for that consumer. So, what happened?
Nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who that was.
No, sorry. Go ahead. I'm just listening.
Okay. So that's I'm not sure what Jason is doing. Has anybody reached out to him or texted him?
I sent him a text. I hadn't heard back. Let me try calling him.
Yeah, normally he's on point.
Let me mute myself.
Maybe he had an emergency. I don't know.
Maybe some technical problems to enter this conference because when I called the other phone numbers, I couldn't enter.
Yes, I couldn't get in either. That's correct.
Yes.
His phone goes straight to voicemail.
Okay.
Let's see if I got another number.
So I'm sure he'll reconvene and reset something up. It's normally not like him.
Now, Lauren, how is the contracting going with him? Is he about to have his contract go through with you?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready. I mean, you know, I just got done looking at all the big major FMOs and their big producers on several different levels, and excuse me, looking at their contract levels. I can assure you that I'm going to put a big dent in a lot of their volume because I'm starting to get their bigger producers to start to convert. And in addition, I'm taking their not so productive producers because of the lack of coaching and the lack of commitment to those representatives, and I will have their mid-core to lower performers starting to perform. It's not that these people aren't capable; they just don't have the right mentors and people helping them.
Right.
And within time and with capital and my resources, I can get them into the production phase. So I can give them places to go, people to see, reasons to be there, conversations to be had, a whole narrative, a whole presentation. I could teach an agent, John, by the time I'm done, what he could start at the end of his presentation, the middle, or the beginning. And he's going to know how to build small victories throughout that presentation to convert that person to a close.
So,
all through a solution-based sale.
all right. So what's the process? How do we get plugged into that?
What we need to do is I need to, John, do you have my email?
I do.
Email me you've emailed me, haven't you, the information?
Yeah.
I think you gave me okay, so what we need to do is email you back. What if you don't mind me asking, what FMO are you with now?
I'm with a half a dozen of them. You know, I hate it.
Just a couple of them.
First Annuity, Senior Advisory in Phoenix.
Okay.
Brokers
So
Alliance.
you're with Scott. What's his name? Stern.
Yeah.
Scott's a lot of fun. Scott's a smart guy. Is that where your BCA contract is? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm with First Annuity's got my annuity contract, and I'll tell you, I need to get out from them. They had a new lead program. They were going to XM radio, and we had to buy territories. I put down $2,500 for a territory in North Carolina, not the first lead. The program folded in 3 weeks. So,
and who gave you your money? Who gave you your money back?
Oh, nobody gave us our money back. It was a startup. It was a risk, but this guy had all the data and all the, they were pushing this thing hard.
So let me tell you a little.
Got the break I needed. I'm getting a territory with annuities, and they're all coming to me. And now I'm right back where I was, but worse. So
yeah, that's not going to happen, John. I deal in Scott. If you checked with Scott Stern, and I don't know whether you want to or not, that will be your business. I'm working with the #1 annuity guy in the world right now that generates the most leads for anybody. He had a big falling out with Scott. He had a big falling out with several FMOs that have screwed him over. He's going to be under my umbrella exclusively here, and I'm going to be meeting with him this week. He's responsible for $1 billion to $2 billion in sales.
Wow. Wow.
So he's a smart guy. Believe me when I tell you, the guy knows how to develop annuity leads. It's no cheap process to do that. I mean, you're talking millions to get it to that level. You know,
Is this the guy that does? Is this Financialize? Is that the guy?
He's responsible for all of those people. Financialize took his system, part of it. So we have a system that is better than Financialize in all of them. He did more volume than Financialize, but Financialize is a spin-off of his type of system.
Okay.
The top three groups are like that. So with Financialize, you're going to spend $200 to $250 a lead.
Right.
Here's the deal. I can get those leads for you cheaper and teach you lots of methods to how to go out and get annuity leads. So in addition to buying them for that level, potentially, because it really does cost that amount of money to develop that lead. But what I have my guys doing now is developing a proprietary platform for mortgage protection, final expense, and annuity leads that are going to be combined into one. So the same guy that created the annuity program is now perfecting my mortgage protection and final expense new program that's coming out.
Now, how long will that take? How long till that rolls out?
Well, the annuity program's ready. I can get you on the annuity program right now. I mean, if you're prepared to spend a couple $100 a lead, I can get you on that program now. I can get annuity leads in your lap. In addition to that, I could teach you ways on how not to buy annuity leads.
Okay.
So in one sense, you're dependent. In one sense, you're independent. The annuity program does work. You're typically going to close 1 to 2 out of 10.
Okay.
So if you spend $2,000, $2,500, you should be able to close $300,000 worth of business.
Wow. Nice.
It's a good return.
Yeah, it's a great return.
And let me tell you something. No one can tell you the data otherwise, whether it's Scott or anybody else, because I have all the data. I have the whole back office. I have the whole system. I got all the legal data in writing. My attorneys have it. I know what the system does. I have 2 billionaires that are behind me, John, that are we're looking at, like I said, partnering up with him, bringing him aboard, doing it exclusively for what we're currently doing. That's just one tool in the toolbox or one spoke in our system. I got 21 other models where I could teach you to make money.
How long until that mortgage protection program goes in?
That's a good question because he's testing it right now. I just gave that to him on Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or Thursday. Thursday was my conversation. So that's only a couple days old. But let me just say this, that he's so smart and off the charts. You're talking about a guy that only makes probably $300,000 a year and should be making $5 million a year.
Wow.
Because he's 100 times smarter than me.
Wow.
And I'm 100 times smarter than him in several areas where I know how to get him to get his income to double or triple. So what he's lacking, what I'm lacking, I could never go out there and develop the leads like he does. That's just not my business. You know what I mean? Unless you're real savvy, you know how to develop those leads. The FMOs barely know how to develop it. If you want to know the truth. So there's lots of different ways to get the annuity leads.
Okay.
So here's the other thing is too, on contract wise, a Nexus limits you on what you can make. And the truth of the matter is their performance, people are paying for really underperformance. they're losing money by using them.
Let me ask you.
I'd rather make 7.5 points to 8.5 points, knowing that I got an equal to or better performing annuity, and make 2 points more.
Right. Is the 2-year crediting strategy, is that like the future of annuities now? Is it all going to go to 2 years?
I don't know the answer to that question. You're talking about the BNP Paribas or like the JP Morgan Mosaic Index or
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to ask my expert. It's a little bit of a problem with my expert because my contracts are so high, John. A lot of these people don't want to give me some of the hand holding. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't need to help Lauren because Lauren's got these massive contracts. We'll put that effort into somebody else. But I just worked a deal out with them yesterday where I'm going to be flying agents in, and we're going to be doing a big training on annuities and on IUL.
Yeah.
So I'm paying for some of these experts to fly out there and help educate you guys.
Nice. So how long until we can actually get contracted and get lined up with you?
Starting Monday.
Monday. All right.
Wait. Well, hold on. Let me correct that. What state are you in?
North Carolina.
Okay. So what I need to do is make sure that my company is licensed in North Carolina first, and then we could do that. That normally takes. North Carolina is a faster state. That typically takes 3 to 5 days with them.
Okay.
So let's say a week to be safe.
All right. Great.
So then from there, then there's no problem getting appointed. I'm in Florida. I'm in Ohio. We just got Texas, California. I had a little hiccup. I had a promise from someone because of my big production that they were going to cover all the states at once, and then they kind of backed out of that agreement. So then I coughed it up and paid for it. So that in and of itself is like $15,000.
Okay.
By the time you're done with all the appointments.
All right. So how do we get up to speed with all your programs? I built a lot of teams over the last 2 years and never had all the pieces to where everybody was making money. I've got a lot of relationships with a lot of agents all over the country. And I got something for everybody through you. So I need to know how to get up to speed with your leads and your programs.
What are they selling?
Oh, I've got guys in my UL teams to final expense teams. How about Medicare? I got some Medicare folks. Are you doing Medicare?
My guys, we are experts in Medicare. That's probably our biggest strength.
Okay.
So I sit in the highest contracts with the Medicare and the health. My guys are actually training right now with about 1,000 agents over the phone for Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplementals.
Okay.
So I was attending Jason's webinar, but my company webinar is on Medicare this morning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what my guys are really, really good at, John, it's amazing. I had Medicare expert guys that thought they were great in the field attend a meeting this week, and they went over to my other partner's office, and they watched him on the computer and couldn't believe how he would sell 5 or 6 products to each individual that he spoke to. And within this week, I think we did about 430,000 commissions total.
All right. So how do I get a Medicare agent up to speed with that? Is this a recorded session where I can send a link to guys to watch or what?
Yeah, we would have to do a training and get them plugged in, and then we would start training them. We would do a join.me or a go-to meeting or that type of thing, and we would start recruiting to the Medicare Advantage space.
Well, I got to give them some reasons for leaving where they are. So, I mean,
well, I can demonstrate that. First of all, if you tell me the FMO that they're with, I'm going to know exactly where they're at. Because there's only a handful that are big.
Okay.
And I will prove to them on a private phone call that I could beat what they have.
Okay.
In all aspects, from comp to training to marketing to selling. If they produce their 1099 and their W-2, we'll get to the nitty gritty, and I guarantee I'm going to beat what they're doing.
Now I know I know an outfit in South Carolina that does has a lot of agents already under them with they must have a pretty good contract. Can you like beat somebody somebody like that that's already doing a kind of sales?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about in North Carolina, South Carolina. You're talking about Assurance Group or Allegiance Group, one of those groups.
No, this is called the Resource Center.
Listen, whatever they have, John, you give me enough time, I'm going to beat anything that anybody has.
Okay.
That goes for Scott. That goes for Scott Stern. That goes for Advisors Excel. That goes for Impact. That goes for anybody.
All right. So how do I hook them up with you or what you're doing? How do I get them to take a look at what you're doing and
have them call me.
All
and
right.
Let's get transparent. Let's get transparent. I have nothing to hide. I'll show them.
Okay. All right.
The idea is I have the contracts. I just need to plug people in to keep those contracts. Do you know what I mean? We'll all be making money. What we don't want is the carrier call me saying, "Hey, Lauren, you told me you were going to do A, B, C, and D, and now you gave us 10 million, but you didn't give us 20."
Okay.
Because they could. You know how the rate game is. They could do that very easily.
All right. I guess the question for somebody that's writing Medicare regularly, they can't move their contract.
Medicare Advantage or Medicare Sup?
Medicare Advantage.
Medicare Advantage during open enrollment is very difficult to get them a carrier to switch them. So what we're really talking about is Medicare Advantage for next year.
Right, but suppose I know some guys that have a group. They've already got a really good sized group. Their agents are writing day in and day out. They can't.
They're writing. They could write Medicare supplemental year round, John, not Medicare Advantage.
Yeah, but turning 65.
Turning 65, correct.
All right, so they got a lot of apps coming in and out, so they're not going to be able to move the contract, will they?
There is a possibility. I just had this with several different FMOs where my guys behind me buy out their contracts.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea, John, my guys are the ones that teach the carriers and the broker dealers about Med Advantage and Med Sup.
Okay.
Okay.
All
so
right.
when a big broker dealer like LPL, where they have 14,000 brokers, and they need to be educated on Medicare or Med Advantage or Med Sup, my guys are the ones that go and train them.
Wow. Okay.
Allianz just called my people to fly to their home office to train them on Medicare Advantage.
Really? Allianz?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why would they care?
There are certain things that they want to open up doors with for several different reasons. I can't get into all of it, but there's information that they want there, and they want people to be trained a certain way.
Wow.
They do senior workshops all over. So they may not, LPL doesn't write Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplemental. These agents don't write it. But they want to be educated to talk about it and maybe position it or have a strategic relationship with somebody.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
My guys are the ones that go out there and educate even some of the FMOs.
Okay.
So as a matter of fact, when I went to go plug in my relationships and get my contracts, and when the people asked me who were my partners, the presidents of the FMO went, "Holy shit, how did you get connected to them?"
Huh. Okay.
So all of the senior groups around the nation know who my partners are on the Med Advantage, Med Sup side.
Okay.
Whether it's a Mirror Life, whether it's Stephen Matthews, whether it's senior groups or senior advisory group, et cetera, they all know them. Health Reform Team, you name it, all around the U.S.
Okay.
They all know who my partners are.
Okay.
So we close literally over 2,000 of those applications a week.
Jeez. Wow.
That's our sweet spot.
Okay. Nice.
So do you write that yourself, John? Those products?
I've been trying to get out of Medicare. I mean, I've just got some clients I'm maintaining that I've had over the years that call me up, and you know, it used to be the first couple of years, everybody was switching every year, and now everybody's settled in. You know, Humana's pretty much dug in, and people aren't switching like they used to. So I just don't, you know, as I say, just trying to get out of it.
Yeah, let me see if I got something here for you, just to give you an idea. A week ago, John, actually it was a couple weeks ago, had the largest people in the nation for Medicare and MedSup fly in and take my agents out to dinner. And I'm working on a different national program where I probably will be able to get agents to make $1,000 a week just based on a salary. So whether it's Aetna, Anthem, which is Blue Cross Blue Shield, Centene, Cigna, Humana, UHC, IAC, MU, Standard, we sit in the highest positions of all of those carriers.
Okay. All right. Tell me again about that salary. You're paying your agents a salary?
Yes. We
Wow.
we have unique stuff that we're doing in phone rooms and things of that nature that is proprietary, but I could get it where agents are just taking phone calls and making $750 to probably $1,000 a week just from doing that, and then getting paid to cross sell on other stuff so that they're making $2 or $3 grand a week just sitting in a phone room.
Get out. So is this certain centers around the country that you use, or can somebody plug it in their home and tie into your call center?
They could do both.
Okay. Well, damn,
So
I'm
I want to
interested
do
in
that.
that.
They could do both. So there's lots of stuff that we can do. What my job is, there are people, John, that are smarter than me in lots of areas. But where I'm smarter than them is putting deals together. Where I need some of the people is to help execute it and plug people in, because they'll run with it. I gave you some of my ideas. You'd be worth $50 million.
I bet.
You would be, and I know that. That's why you want to. That's why you want to work with me, because you're gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna make more money with me than what you're making.
I know that's true. So tell me, the call center for the Medicare, the agents buying per call? Are they paying per call that comes in, or how does that work?
It's they're not paying per call. No, we're paying them a flat number. We may pay you, instead of, let's say, getting 25%, we may pay you 8% flat on the Medicare lead.
I got
But
you.
the phone's going to keep ringing for you.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop ringing. And the way that we're going to do it is we're going to advance several different ways where you're making money. You won't have to worry about a thing. You can make $2,000, $3,000 a week just answering the phone.
Wow. Okay. How do I find out about
How
that
can
program?
we
I want
enter in this program in this way? Just by phone call, how we can enter?
I'm sorry, who's this?
Sorry, this is Shiva. I'm just listening, and just my question is, if we just want to make calls and receive money, what should I do? I just want to do that.
Sure, I understand. Let me talk to Jason, and then you and I will talk separately, and then we can figure that out.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I'd like to start recruiting agents for that right after AEP ends, Lauren. So as I say,
John, I'm still in. Let me tell you what the problem is.
Okay.
Part of the problem is with the group that I'm connected with. They're massive, and they're probably roughly make about 150 million a year. The problem is they're not as big as the contracts that I have. The problem is I possess contracts that are even larger, but they have some systems that are better than me.
Okay.
So now what I'm trying to do is kind of blend the two to see that if I can negotiate my sweet spot, and then I'll have the best of both worlds.
Okay. All
Because
right.
my contracts, believe it or not, are higher than they are in the Med Sup and Med Advantage. They were floored when they saw my number.
All right. So
They basically said, "How the hell did you do that?"
So when all these pieces come together, how will I know?
They're happening right now on the IUL on the life end. They're together on the Med Sup and the Med Advantage. We are plugged in already. They were on a plane, all the bigwigs from Blue Cross and Moo, and they all emailed me yesterday when they were on their plane ride. And believe it or not, they wired me about $10,000 just to buy more leads. They said, here's some money, stay busy, and we'll touch base with you Monday or Tuesday of next week. And they just, without questions asked, dumped $10,000 into my bank account.
Nice.
Like it was nothing.
Nice.
So I have all kinds of stuff that you will be able to feed off of and really leverage where you can make a lot of money.
All right.
I promise you, by the time I'm done, your income's going to go through the roof.
All right. So you're a big dog and I'm a little fish. I'm afraid when these calls are over, I'm not going to be able to know how to hook up and find this stuff. How do I actually, again, I want to make sure I know that I'm plugging into your system to where I can recruit people for this. And I say, I want to do it myself. So
yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a strategic partnership relationship.
okay.
And then it's going to be reduced in writing where it's transparent.
Okay.
That you know what the terms are and I know what the terms are. And from there it becomes legal.
All right.
So now there's no guesswork.
All right. So I guess first step is we wait till this goes through with Jason. So in a week we contract with you.
Yeah,
and
as soon as Jason gets situated here, and then we'll be able to do that. These guys, including Jason, and I told him this, they cannot beat my deals. If you can, prove it to me, because I'll be transparent with mine. You cannot beat it, and I know for a fact you can't beat it, because I've been given the highest contracts that you can get in the United States, from all carriers, and it's in writing with my lawyers. So if anybody says anything out that's otherwise, they're full of shit, because I have it in writing.
Wow.
And that's the power. I've been given permission to recruit to these contracts. So if someone says differently, they're lying. I'll prove it, and as long as you stay the duration and we get it in writing, there's nothing that they can say. They could claim that they got better deals, this and that, but if you have a lawyer, John, we pay for that lawyer to look at it, and we guarantee that we will beat any deal that you have in the U.S.
All right. So Lauren, how do we find out about your Medicare system to where we can start recruiting after AEP?
That is going to be a discussion for probably later next week.
Okay.
What we would do first is start on life and annuity, and then we would start to teach. Then we would start to teach you the health and the Medicare AEP stuff.
Okay.
So that takes a little bit long. That takes a little bit longer on the Med Advantage side. They're very strict, as you know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot more serious. So, it's taking me a minute to negotiate a couple of these contracts. But we should be wrapped up with that, next week. My guys are currently writing and they're training at the moment right now.
All right. I know a group in Maryland that has been Cigna's #1 source of sales. And they've got a huge telemarketing outfit. And I came into them last year because they were so big. And they lost, of course, with Cigna being in CMS timeout, these guys went to Humana and sales were bottomed out. I mean, absolutely bottomed out. They had nothing to do. They had no leads coming in. And so these guys have a good system, but they were kind of narrowed down to Cigna.
I could change that. My guys are on the plane with the people of Cigna and with Humana. And I could tell you that we have very strong relationships across the board, John.
That's what I'm wanting to hear. So again, I got some great people I can bring in if I know more about your potential,
I will back it up. Do you know what FMO they're plugged into?
I don't. I don't. I know a couple of the big players in there. I've got a great relationship with a guy up there that's one of the right-hand men. So I'll just have to call him and ask him.
No problem. Get me the actual factual data, and I will guarantee. Are you familiar, John, with AmeriLife?
Oh yeah, that was the first outfit I came into, and I've got licensed in 2006, and they were a bunch.
Well, you know how big they are, right? On the Med Sub side.
Yeah, these guys were writing Medicare Advantage back in 2006 in September. And they had the secretary had them all under the desk. They had a plan that if CMS ever came in, she'd go out the back door. I mean, these guys were breaking all kinds of laws. It was crazy. I think they've cleaned up.
Well, let's just say that you've heard of Stephen Matthews.
No, I mean, I haven't. I walked away from them. They were, I just every call I get, I hang up. So I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Anymore. All right. Well, here's the reality. I've taken already their top people.
I got you. Okay.
Okay. So that's got to tell you something.
Yeah.
I have the attention of the annuity world and the life insurance world. Little by little, I am chipping away at all these marketing companies because I'm taking their top people and I'm doing it better than they are. There's a lot of things that they do very, very well. 3 years ago, I couldn't spell FMO. 3 years from now, or less than, my goal is in 18 months is to be the largest FMO in the U.S. And I'm going to do it.
Sounds like it.
I have money behind me. I have resources behind me. People like me. People trust me. People know that I'm transparent, and they're going to see the difference. And all my agreements are as clear as day. They're in writing. That way there's no confusion about what we're doing.
Right.
So it's simple. I give you higher contracts. We work out lead programs. We work out and negotiate whatever we need to negotiate, and we go to work.
Nice.
It's nothing too fancy. I did it for several groups, and I built billions in annuities for them. Billions.
Nice. Well, count me in, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was good for all of us at the time, but and there are agents that will vouch. And one of them's on this phone call that was with a group that hasn't had any assistance or help. Eric, you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Eric, how long have you been in the business?
For about 4.5, 5 months.
In the last couple of days, how much have I helped you already?
Probably equal to all the help I've gotten in the past 4 months.
Nice.
That's a brand new rep, John.
Okay.
I've known Lauren for 24 hours.
I reached out to him, and I've helped him already within 24 hours more than what he's been receiving from the group that he's with at one of the FMOs. So we don't have to disclose all that right now. But I could say that he's in the process of leaving them, and I will guarantee not only you but him, he's going to be in a far better position. It's going to change his life.
Nice. Well, I just got a text from Jason saying they crashed and they're getting ready to jump on right now.
Okay. I think he overslept. I think he's in bed with Alyssa. He forgot about the meeting. But the bottom line is, if he's getting on, that's good. I'm just going to tell him he owes me $1,000. I could be watching cartoons with my kids.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Let me see
Saturday's
how
a hard day to do this.
Wait, say that one more time.
I said Saturday's a hard day to do this. It's a big sacrifice. I mean, this is family time, you know?
Yeah, the idea is what I like to do is maybe not every Saturday, but I would like to do meetings on a Saturday, maybe once a month. And then if people want to do a Monday night phone call, that's fine. And I agree with you. Every Saturday.
That's the way to do it.
But yeah, if you do Saturdays once a month on training, see where everybody's at, and once every Monday. One thing that we're doing too, John, is we're doing what's called the team chat. You guys there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we do a team chat, John, that means that we could text everybody all of our ideas. Let's say, for example, you didn't know which carrier was the best simplified issue, or which one had the best income, or which one had this issue or that issue. When I have 100 agents on team chat, you could text it out there, and the other agents will help you close it.
Okay, nice.
It's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to give you all my ideas, John.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to working with you. This is great.
So there's lots of them that we can have that will help you. So that way you don't feel like you're alone out in the field. You're at a kitchen table sale, you run into a problem, you know that your FMO and IMO or whoever, your upline, a lot of times they're busy and they don't answer. But if you're on a text message with a group of 100 agents, they'll help you solve that problem fast.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess Jason's not getting on. It's somebody else that's on now, but so I guess Jason's not going to be able to make it. Said computer crashed. Yeah, I don't think they're coming on. Well, glad you're here, Lauren. It made it worthwhile.
All right. So, John, if you get me that other information, I could start on it. You have my email?
Okay. Yep.
And if you want to start connecting people, we could do that, and we could go from there.
All right, we'll do.
All right.
All right.
You guys have Eric, I apologize. I thought he was going to be ready to go, but we can talk to him too today as well by phone.
Can I have your phone and email address?
Yes. My phone number is 248 891 5330.
Okay. And the email?
My first name is Lauren, Loren. Last name is Pollack, Pollack, @gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, guys, Eric, we're going to give Jason a call and see if he's available, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Okay, John, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you shortly.
Thank you. Bye bye.